Jamie. Welcome.
What's up, bro? I was dancing away. I was jiving to the music there. I was feeling the music. I was dancing away. So freaking good to be here on this Friday/Saturday.
Good morning. Yes. So welcome insiders. Welcome everyone to this week's Insiders Elite. Heaps going on this week, but this week we thought we'd talk about money and money mindset and all things around money. Not strategies how to make it, but you know, the mindset and the stuff and the belief that comes behind it, which is more important than how to make it. So Jamie, what's been going on? You've had an epic week. Tell me.
Oh, brother, it's been just absolutely amazing. Big change for me. We talked a little bit about it last week with Martin. Again, the week before, of course, I joined Point One, a big, one of the world's top masterminds. Been just getting so much information. I've been connecting with people that are absolutely fucking next level. Had an amazing conversation with Emmy this morning. Oh my God, she is just, I love her. I absolutely love her. It was an absolute blast to connect with her. She's helping me out. Just so many people have reached out. It's been so supportive. And what else have I been doing? Well, I've got my big boot camp on the go. We are shutting down entrance for the boot camp tonight in, what is it? It's 2 o'clock Pacific time here. So in 3 hours, I'm going to be closing the door. So there won't be any more people coming in. And I'm not sure if I'm going to run it again this year. Why am I so excited about that? Because I get to serve at a whole nother level. I get to do what I was put here on this planet to do. Step up and serve, help those businesses, those business operators really grow and scale their business, get rid of that unnecessary fear, kind of what we're going to talk about today with money, and then be able to become those true business owners. How does that all relate to today's topic? Think about it, money and fear. When we think money, and maybe you and I'll go back and forth a little bit on this, but when we used to think about money and a big investment or a big, what we might used to call a cost, right? How did that make you feel before? It's like, hey, you know what? You need to join this, but it's going to cost you $50,000. What would you have used to done with that idea?
I used to would have went, oh my God, how am I ever going to pay for that? Oh no, like straight away I would have went to this. I can't afford that. Straight away I would have went into this backward self-talk that's telling me that I can't do it. It's too much. There's no way I can afford that. That's way too much money. Way too much. It's too expensive. Like straight away, like because of the size of the dollar value, you put it in perspective. Like that's a decent size investment. But I used to look at it as a cost, and there's no way that costs way too much, and not look at the value that you can get out of it.
Yeah.
Whereas I suppose one of the things that shifted is looking at the value. Is it what value are you getting? If you're getting $200,000 value out of it, well then the investment is 1 in 4 return. It's not too bad.
Yeah, exactly. And that's really it. We've got to be able to begin shifting that mindset from cost to investment, and even more so, return on investment. I'm all about the ROI, right? Happiness is the ultimate ROI. That's what I believe, that happiness is the ultimate ROI. When we get into that place of true happiness, when we experience it, when we make that a part of our lives, I believe that we're truly living. Now, I come from that business background. I'm all about getting focused in on that business. And for me, when I see other business operators and other business owners really succeed, like hit it out of the freaking park, right? I get really juiced for them. I get that sense of happiness, of gratitude. I'm so excited for them. And that's when I know I'm really, truly living, right? That's a big thing for me. What's helping me get there is the recent investment I made in myself. Right. I'm going to put something up here. I got to give a huge shout out to Jenny here. Now, Jenny's a big reason as to why I'm in the Point One Mastermind. I was in a recent a boot camp with Richmond Din, and Jenny hops on one night. She's an hour or two ahead of me. So it was like 1, 2, 3 in the morning. And here Jenny hops on. She's like, we got to talk. And she gave me some really great insights, some really great information. So that's why I'm giving Jenny a big, huge shout out right here, right now. Because she was one of those people that really helped me make this decision in me, and really helped me to see that, this isn't a cost at all. It's got nothing to do with cost. She helped me shift that mindset to say, oh my God, it's an investment in you, right? Every single person that's in here, what they've done is they've radically transformed their business to grow it out like crazy. They've seen the amazingness that's come from that by investing in themselves, investing in their businesses to step up with a whole new level of people.
Absolutely. And whether it's an investment in yourself, or investment in a program, or investment in new equipment, or investment in like something to make money, purchasing something, like it's all relative. And there's so much people don't like. I don't know. I'm sure it's like this in Canada too. But to talk about money in open frame, it's quite played down a fair bit, or almost taboo. You don't talk about how much things cost, or how much you spent, or how much money you made. Like it's sort of just pushed aside, which I think creates it's bad thing kind of mentality in your mind. You can't talk about that because you might be seen as showing off if you say, well, I invested 50,000 on this and had made 200,000 out of it, or I got 200,000 worth of value, or blew my business up. Like it's almost a bit taboo. Not many people want to talk about it. Whereas I think money should be discussed openly. If you made 20% on that, say, yeah, I made 20% on that. It was a great win, or I invested 50,000 in that program, and it was so much. I got so much value. I reckon it was worth 200,000.
Yeah.
But people don't, in Australia especially, don't really want to talk about that kind of stuff, which I think creates a massive problem. What's it like over there for you? The open discussions between people about money, and
it's still one of those sometimes taboo things. People don't necessarily want to hear about it because, oh, it's money. Oh, look at this person showing off. I mean, down there, you guys have the tall poppy syndrome, right? What happens to the tallest poppy? Boom, gets cut down. So people don't necessarily want to talk about that money. I want to bring something up here before I lose it on the screen here. And I'm sorry, StreamYard isn't showing me who you are. It just says Facebook user. So I apologize for not being able to share your name. But there's a question that came up here, and I think this is so good that we could deal with it right now. Says, I guess that it's an investment in ROI, but how to deal with the cash flow aspect of investing and not necessarily seeing evidence of the return on investment. So they understand that it's an investment, that there is going to be an ROI, but how to deal with the cash flow aspect of that and not necessarily seeing evidence of the ROI. So I think there's a couple things there. You want to start with the mix? I got some ideas about this, but did you want to?
I do too. Yeah, I'll start with this one. So for me, I get this. There's a practical element to it. You have to be actually able to pay for it. You have to have the cash flow to pay for it, whether it's funded, whether it's a payment plan, and most investments or most things have an option in this finance, and it's easy to get in the current environment. It's easy enough to get funding for things. I get the cash flow. And one of the biggest things that shift for me is the very first question you should be asking yourself is not, I can't afford this. It's, how can I afford this? How can I make this happen? And it creates what it does. It creates a possibility mindset, which then starts looking for ways to change your cash flow to do things. And this is where the practical element for me comes in with how to pay for it. You start looking, well, how can I pay for this? So then you have a look at where your cash is, what's going, where you're paying, what do I need to generate some more cash to do it? Do I need to stop putting cash into something else to put it into this? That's the practical element. But I think the very first thing you need to do is just shift that perspective. Instead of, I can't afford this, I don't have any spare cash at the moment, to how can I afford this and create some spare cash? Because as soon as you change that, it is truly remarkable what you see. I've used this in my own life with even things in my personal finances. We'll sit down with my wife and we go, well, we really want to do this. And, well, shit, how can we afford that? I don't know. Well, this and that, maybe she could work some extra shifts. Maybe we could do this. Oh, well, what about if we stop doing this and stop doing that? And that'll make an extra $150 a week. Well, okay, by the end of the year, we'll have the money to do that. Oh, awesome. Let's do that. So just as soon as you say how, you're like, oh, I can't afford that. I don't have any spare money now. Like straight away, you've shut your mind down to thinking about the options and possibilities. So yeah, I think that's a massive shift. And if you can just master that as the very first thing you say, instead of I can't, is how can, it will be a massive change.
Yeah. It shifts the whole paradigm on it, because what does it do? It opens you up to the possibility that you actually can, right? When you're making this, oh, I can't afford that. That is shut down. That is closed down. The door is completely closed. What do we ultimately want to do? We want to be able to leave that door open. Now, here's what else I like about that. And it comes back to standards. We get what we tolerate. If we tolerate that we can live on, I'm just going to pick some round, if we can live on $5,000 a month, if that's what our standard is, our minimum viable standard, then that's all we're going to ever rise to. Here's the thing, oftentimes, and I mean, I've been a coach for 6-7 years. I've done well over 7,000 paid coaching calls. And every time I've seen someone commit, like I'm talking go all in, every single time, even if they didn't necessarily have all the money, they would make it up along the way. It's almost like it's magic. And I know I'm starting to go woo-woo again, but this isn't about woo-woo stuff. Because what that person did in that moment is they raised their standard. They changed the standard from which they were operating from, and because of that, everything else changed. They recognize, okay, if I'm committing to an additional, say, $2,000 a month for X, whatever X is, they will find a way to make that happen. They will find a way to bring that extra $2,000 in, even if they've not done it over the last year, 2 years. When they make that commitment into themselves, when they get behind the fact that success is their only option, they will find a way to literally bring that money in. I've seen it too many times, right? Success leaves clues. There's patterns in everything. And every single person that I've seen that's done that, that's made that investment in themselves or in their business, even if they didn't necessarily have all the cash, maybe they had a portion of it, maybe they had some, but even if they didn't have all that cash, when they doubled down on themselves, when they believed in themselves, absolutely everything changed. Right? They weren't pulling in an extra $2,000. They double it, quadruple it sometimes. I've seen it too many times not to believe that stuff works. Set a different standard. Set a brand new standard, a higher standard for what you absolutely need, and you will make it happen. Remember, there's a massive difference between wants and needs. Wants are nice to have. Well, I want a Ferrari. I want $1 million house. Well, no, I don't really. I can say I want all these things. But what do I need, right? I need to have that certainty and security for my family to take care of them. I need to serve business operators and help them scale up their businesses and become business owners. These are absolute complete needs for me, like needs that go right into my DNA. And because I love that so freaking much, that shit is happening. Like it is impossible for me to fail because it's an absolute need. Is it going to cost a little bit? Sure, whatever, right? I joined Point One, and it's not a cost, it's an investment for me. I can tell you straight up that the connections that I've made, the people that I've met, the community, the eighth wonder, I'm not going to tell you what the eighth wonder is, but being able to tap into that eighth wonder and really step it up, it's already more than paid for itself in that investment, right? I can't ever see myself. Jenny and I, we were having a quick little text conversation. It's like, yeah, we're probably never going to leave this mastermind because it's that level of people. It's absolutely outstanding. It's absolutely incredible. I just don't see myself leaving it, right? It's an investment in me. It's an investment in everything. And no matter what, that money's going to come, right? I choose to believe that it's always going to be there.
Yep, absolutely, Jamie. And you said something there, and I've had the same experience. I remember when I very first signed my 12 months coaching with you 2-3 years ago, because those of you may or may not know, Jamie was my coach 2-3 years ago through the Tony Robbins stuff. And at the time I was like, wow, shit, where am I going to get the money from that from? How can I get that? And I stepped up and I had that money. And then now I always have the money available for a coach. And I pay more than that. I paid for that to have a coach, a good coach. So it's that standard you accept, and all of a sudden, once you've stepped up to that level, then you have the money available. There's a really powerful book that I've read. It's called The Energy of Money. If you haven't read it, make sure you read it. And the basically premise behind it is money is just energy. You transfer energy in the form of money to someone, and they transfer energy. So if I talk about my coaching agreement with Jamie, for example, I transferred him some money, which was energy, and then he transferred a year's worth of energy into me. So it was just you buy a product, someone's put energy to make that product, and then you put your energy. So it's just a transfer of energy. And if you are closed off and don't like, not open to the energy flow of money, then, or you have a bad juju about money, then it's not going to flow freely in your life. It's not going to flow the way it needs to. So then you won't be able to create it. And that's why those mindset shifts create the ability for money to flow, because it changes the energy around it. And I know we're talking woo-woo stuff here, but read the book. There's lots of really practical stuff in there that's not all about energy and all the rest of it, but it is so beneficial, that book, and the way they talk about it. And, you know, it also says that money likes structure, and it can be controlled through structure. And look at the share market. When the share market's in chaos, what happens? All the money leaves. People take all their money out of it. When it's steadily rising, more people pile money in. The money comes. So when it's in stable and controlled, money loves it. And when it's chaotic, so if your personal finances are chaotic, no wonder you've got no money, because it's all trying to get away from you, because it's all chaotic. So if you can create some order and structure around your finances, then you'll see a steady flow of money, which is a very practical and common sense approach. But again, it's all around based on the theory of the energy. It doesn't like chaos. It likes control and structure and order.
Yeah. It likes to flow easily. If there's barriers, if there's challenges, if it's being divided into multiple different directions, it doesn't necessarily like that. Money really absolutely loves to flow. Now, here's the thing. Let's talk energy for a minute. And no, we're not going woo-woo. This is actual factual stuff. It might seem woo-woo. Bear with me here. Mindvalley. I think many of our viewers, listeners are probably familiar with Mindvalley. If you're not, please go check it out, mindvalley.com. Vishen, he's the gentleman that owns it. Just brilliant, brilliant man. He had a speaker on, and that speaker's name was Ken Honda. Now, Ken Honda talks about healing your money wounds. I would recommend that anyone go and do, it's free. Like, it's actually free. So go, it's not going to cost you anything. Go check out mindvalley.com. Go look for Ken Honda, just like the vehicles, the Hondas, and watch his program. It's amazing. I went through it. I watched it, and it was something just magical. But what he does, and I don't want to give it all away, but the one piece that was really amazing was the arigato method. Now, what Ken does, what he teaches and what he shows, and what people practice now, is because we know that money is energy. Money flows. We have to be grateful. We have to experience gratitude for that money. So every time, whether it's a bill coming in, or whether it's you spending that money, and in this case it is. He talked about it. He gave the example of purchasing a coffee. I guess he was investing in himself in coffee, I guess. But I digress. Every time, whether money's coming in or money's going out, if it's coming in the form of you getting paid, maybe it's a client paying you, or you're buying that Starbucks, or you're buying whatever, he would quite literally close his eyes in his mind, and he would see himself saying arigato, which of course in Japanese is thank you. He would respect that money and show gratitude towards that money, and because of that, even more money would flow. Now, again, it sounds woo-woo. It really sounds woo-woo. But go take a look at the results. Please, give yourself the gift of going and watching that video. It's quite literally going to change how you look at money. Here's the other thing about money. Many of the money stories that we have or we believe are actually inherited. These are things that we've learned from our parents, right? Go get that job. You've got to get the job. You got to get the job with the pension so that, so that you're always good. Right? That's what they know, and they were sharing the best of their knowledge at that time. Same thing about money. Well, you got to save your money. Oh, don't go into stocks. Stocks, man, you're going to lose money in stocks. It's terrible. A lot of these beliefs that we have surrounding money are actually inherited. Here, I challenge people to do something. I would challenge each and every one of you to take a look at your beliefs surrounding money. What is it you believe around money? Is it that money is, hard earned? Money doesn't grow on trees. How many of us have heard that out there before? I sure have. That's a universal global belief. Money doesn't grow on trees. What if it did, though? What if money was in such abundance that we could tap into it anytime, anywhere, any place? I wonder what different decisions we would make if that's what we actually believed. Isn't that an interesting question? What we have to recognize is our beliefs have a strong and measurable impact about what we either have or do not have in our lives. Our beliefs have a strong and measurable impact directly on what we either have or do not have in our lives. When we make the choice to change some of those beliefs that don't serve, i.e., money's hard to make. You can only make so much. There's only so much of it. That's garbage. There's more money in production, in print, available now than there ever has been before in history, regardless of COVID, regardless of it. There's more money now available than ever before. Now, what would happen if we absolutely got behind that and we tapped into that welcoming flow of that? Not in a place of protection where we're like, oh, I've got to store my money away. I've got to stock it all away. No, what if we actually got into the flow that money is abundant and money's absolutely all around us? What could that do? What could that do for you? What could that do for your business? Now, please understand, I'm not saying just go spend money willy-nilly, but I have to believe, and I know this to be true. I know this to be a fact, that when you believe there is abundance all around you, you will quite literally tap into that abundance and you will be rewarded with it. What's your thoughts on that, Nick?
Look, I'm a huge believer, and I had some massive money shifts over the last 2 to 3 years, and that's something that worked on, like I mentioned one before about how can I instead of I can't. And I 100% agree that there's more money out there now than there ever has been before. It's abundant, it's everywhere, and with the right mindset and beliefs, you can tap into that. I can't say enough how much I strongly believe that the energy flow and the money, and if you've got those beliefs that are limiting, controlling what you do, like you said, has an immeasurable impact on what you have in life or what you don't have in life. If there's something you don't have in life that you really desire, well, let's have a look at what you believe about that. Oh, maybe I'll never get that. It's too hard, or that's too much money. I'll never be able to afford that. Or maybe I'll miss my opportunities there. There's no good opportunities now. Or the share market's too high now. I'll miss my chance. You've never missed your chance in the share market. The share market continually goes up and down. It goes up and down. Like, there's always opportunities. There's always opportunities everywhere to make more money. And if you have that abundant mindset that they'll come along, and you have the belief structure to take advantage of those, that's going to be too hard. Well, if you believe it's going to be too hard, you're correct. If you believe you do or you believe you don't, you're right either way.
That right there. If anyone's taking notes, if anyone's watching or just happens to be taking notes from this broadcast, right there, 23 minutes in, right? If you believe that you have or you believe you don't, you're right. And isn't that the truth?
Yep.
It's the absolute truth. When we change what we believe about anything, we open up our lives to all the abundance out there. This is where we have to be the masters of our mindset. We have to absolutely control what's going in and what's going on. Because if we don't, left unchecked, our brain is going to come back to that simple place of mammalian belief of fight, flight, freeze, or the other F word. I'll say it, fuck. Right? That's all the brain knows. That's all that mammalian brain knows how to do. It's going to do one of those things. What we have to do is use our conscious brain, use our awakened brain to recognize that those are just, it's basic programming, right? If we're running on the latest Mac OS software or the latest Windows software up here, that sucker back there is running on like DOS. Right? That's the radical difference of what we're experiencing here. We need to take charge of that upper brain, that conscious brain, and quite literally change it all. And we can do that. It's really simple, easy, and fun to do. Why do I say that? Why do I say that over and over and over? Because I made a radical shift in my life. Kerwin Ray attended his NISI boot camp. And that's one of the things that came out. He gave us one hell of a task. First day, I mean, Mick and I were in the same NISI. And man, the task was epic. It was like, I've never done this before. I don't know how to do this. You're giving me what, like 12 hours to do this? Are you fucking crazy? But he shared one thing that changed it all for us. At least changed it for me, made a radical difference for me, is that this is simple, this is easy, this is fun. This is simple, this is easy, this is fun. And when I started getting onto that story and absolutely believing it, like owning it as mine, everything totally changed. Because here I was, I'm not shitting you. It was what, 3:34 in the morning for me. I'm creating away, I'm cranking away, I'm doing stuff, I'm doing the activities that I was supposed to do, and I'm telling myself over and over and over, this is simple, this is easy, this is fun. This is simple, this is easy, this is fun. And all of a sudden, holy shit, I started enjoying myself. I started having fun because I recognized, you know what, this is kind of easy. A lot of it's already done for me. And you know what? All I have to do is just put the words in. Well, that's kind of simple. I really started to buy into that because I changed my belief. I didn't let the beliefs of, oh shit, I've never done this before. I possibly can't figure this out, right? There's no way I can do all that. I don't have enough time. I got rid of those beliefs. I eliminated those beliefs out of the vocabulary, just recognizing that all I had to worry about is this is simple, this is easy, this is fun. And boom, I was creating that radical success. I got the task done. I honestly, when I first took it on, I'm like, I can never do this. But look what I was doing right there. I was setting myself up for a block, right? Joe said it right there. There's a comment in there. Simple, easy, fun. Here, I'll share it up on the screen, right? Simple, easy, fun. Simple, easy, fun. What if we made everything? What if we made money attraction simple, easy, fun? What if we actually got behind the belief that to bring in any amount of money that we could ever want was actually simple, easy, fun? That if I really had, if it was a must for me to make that $1 million so that I could go on to do whatever I had to do with it, expand my program, reach even more business owners, if I absolutely got behind that, I know that I could make it happen. I absolutely, totally believe that. That's just the power of our beliefs. What we got to be careful of is when we're shutting it down. And that's why today's episode is so important, because for the most of us, I'd really implore each and every one of you to do a check-in with yourself. What are those things, those ideas, those beliefs that you have surrounding money? If you're hearing that, man, I can only make so much. Geez, I'm only worthy of making $50,000 a year or $100,000 a year. What would happen if you upgraded those beliefs? If you upgraded those patterns in your mind? Other things like, well, I can't make too much. Or, hey, maybe you're a coach.
You've got to have money to make money.
Yeah, hey, I got to have money to make money. And I got no money, so you know what? I can't make any money. What if that was just bullshit, though? What if that was bullshit? What if the money was all out there? You simply had to just attract it in. What if that was the case? Now, I got a belief that it is. I've got a belief that that money is absolutely, completely all around us at any time. And all we have to do is just change our beliefs surrounding it. Because what happens? We become a magnet for it. Now, who here, I wish I could see everyone. Normally I do trainings. I love trainings. I'd be like, okay, who here wants to attract money into their lives? Put up your hand. I wish I could. I wish I could see each and every one of the viewers that are. I'd love to see how many people have their hands up right now. Because I definitely want to attract more. We all do. For us to attract more, all we have to recognize is what are those beliefs? What are those old thought patterns from that old lizard brain that are holding us back from that? How do we get rid of it? Few great exercises we can do to get rid of that stuff. But number one, the first thing we have to do is, what do we really believe? What do we absolutely, really, totally believe about money? Do we believe it's simple, easy, fun to attract? Or do we have something else that's stopping us from naturally, magnetically bringing that into our lives?
Good question. I like that. That's self-reflection and self-awareness is the first step to any development, any improvement, any growth. Whether it's in your business, it's recognizing, being consciously aware of where we are or where we want to be, or like just being self-aware. Just being self-aware is one of the key first stepping stones. And like you said there, is this really the truth? Just reflecting, is it really correct? Is this the truth? Is this, where we want to be? Is this belief where I need to be? Yeah, that's perfect.
Change your beliefs, change your entire life. Change your beliefs, change your entire life. The first and most impactful way to do that is get real. Look, some things are going to come up sometimes that we might not necessarily like to hear, right? Maybe I do have a belief surrounding money that says I can only make so much. Maybe I do have this. The number one thing that we have to do is address it first. Because if we leave it, if we pretend that we're just going to sweep it under the rug or stuff it in the closet and not see, right? For any of you that have kids out there that you tell them to go clean their room, what do? They like stuff all the stuff under the bed, or they put, right? Mick knows what I'm talking about, right? Go clean your room, right? You go, oh, it looks good. Well, let's look in the closet. No, don't go in the closet. Don't go. And everything falls out of the closet. That's like a lot like our beliefs. If we're just sweeping them under the rug, or if we're putting them away in the closet, that's not going to help us, because it's still there. It's in that other than conscious or subconscious. Our subconscious is powerful. Anyone that's done NLP, Tony K, right? We both work with Tony K and all that. Tony's just absolutely amazing. NLP is an absolute godsend. It's just an epic, absolute tool, and it can help you easily and effortlessly crush through all of those beliefs. Identify them. Take a look at your life. Where do you have beliefs surrounding money that aren't serving you? List them out. What I've done is I'll do this with clients. I'll do this with customers. Well, back when I used to coach, what I would do is I would literally have them take all those beliefs and write them out. Right? What do you believe about money? What's the 1, 2, or 3 things that you believe about money? It's this, it's this, it's this. Great. Write them all out. Then what I'll have them do is I'll literally have them take it, crumple it all up, light it on fire, and burn that bullshit. Because that's what it is. It's absolute bullshit, right? Totally, absolutely cathartic experience where people are like, oh my God, I'm free, right? I dismantled those garbage beliefs that don't serve about money. And then all of a sudden they're experiencing it in their lives, right? This is next level, absolute epic game-changing stuff. And I would implore any of you to do that, right? Decide, what are those beliefs? What are those garbage beliefs? Write them out, burn that shit up, because it's absolute garbage.
Absolutely, Jamie. It is absolute. And the beliefs are the foundation of what we do and see and how we process things in the world. So if our beliefs are channeling how we see the world in a certain direction, that's what we're going to get and we're going to see more of. It's the foundation to how you show up, is what you believe about whatever it is, what you believe about money, whether you believe about business, what you believe about relationships, what you believe about your belief structure is the foundation for any of those areas of your life.
Yeah.
So being aware of those beliefs and then having the ability to change it, whether you get a coach or whether you do some work, whether you read some books, whether you do some development, whether you listen to a podcast, whether you do something, but you need to do the work. You need to do the work to change those beliefs, to shape them to the best that's going to benefit you. Where you want to go.
Yeah. And that's so important. And decide on why change is a must. Now, please don't take that lightly. I know it's just a little word, like 3-letter why. What's the big deal with why? Why might be the most fucking important thing that you can decide on for yourself, for your money woes, for anything like that. Why must I, make $100 million? Why must I? Decide on what your musts are. Those compelling reasons. I use this analogy for those of you that are in the boot camp. You're gonna get a little preview of it right now. Really, it's 3 things. Number 1, right? Your outcome. That's the shiny red Ferrari, the shiny red Tesla Roadster, whatever it is that's sitting outside. Problem is, it's got no gas. It's got no charge in it. It ain't going anywhere. It needs the fuel. Your why is your fuel. Your why. So give yourself the absolute best whys. Do you take that Ferrari and go put some 85 or 87 garbage octane fuel in it? No, of course you don't. You put in the best, the 94 octane or whatever you can find. You put the highest of octane in those vehicles so it can run at its peak performance. We must do that same thing for ourselves. We have to give ourselves those compelling reasons why, because if we don't have a compelling reason why, the first little roadblock that comes up, you'll be like, oh man, this is like too hard. Can't get past it. Can't get beyond it. I don't have the fuel to get me over there. Look, I run an exercise there and it really digs me deep into my why. So if the first one doesn't cut it, I can move on to the second one, the third one, the fourth one. By the time I get to the 5th one, I've never made it to the 7th why. By the time I get to the 5th one, it's like, yes, I got this thing. I'm fucking unstoppable. And that's what we're looking for here. Decide why money is now about to flow to you easily, effortlessly, and in avalanches of abundance. How good does that feel? Right? Stealing a little bit from Tony Robbins here. God's wealth flows to me in avalanches of abundance. It's one of his incantations that he says over and over and over. What is he doing? He's removing any blocks that he's got surrounding money. He's literally letting that money flow into him. Each and every one of us can do this, right? What compels us or why? What moves us forward or why? Understand what it is that you've got to remove. Understand why you must attract even more, who you're going to serve, who you're going to help, what impact it's going to have on the greater good, and then go and do that. It will change your life. It will completely change the game.
Absolutely. I reckon that 3-letter word's probably the most powerful word in the English language. It compels people to go to war. It compels people to make millions. It compels people to sacrifice their entire life to serve others. It compels people to, you name it, all kinds of things, good and bad. It's probably the most powerful word in the English language.
Yeah. When you've got, I feel the fucking emotion coming on already. You guys know me. I'm a big high I on the disc scale. I'm a high I. I get highly emotional. You know, when I heard Mick saying that and all that, it just boom, it just rocketed into me to recognize my why for why I'm doing it. Like, it hit me like a ton of bricks in such a good way, because for me, I mean, I can't stand seeing business operators suffer like they have. I was that guy. I was a guy that tried to do it all myself. And where was I focused? I was focused on what I didn't have, not what I had, not the resources. And I was too fucking embarrassed to go ask for help. Worst thing you could ever do. Now, being part of an absolute worldwide elite mastermind, it's easy, simple, fun. I love it. It gives me everything that I need. I'm so grateful of that. But my why is to help those other business operators get beyond that, to be able to get to that level where they don't have to experience nearly as much of the stress, the grief, or anything that I had to really grow my business out there. So Mick just sharing that, like, it got me totally emotional right there. It hit me in such a good way, a ton of bricks, because it brought me right back to my purpose.
And thank you very much, Jamie, for being so open and sharing that. And that's 100% correct. And that's why Jamie and I started this show, is because I also have a strong why inside of me to help other business owners, to help, you see, family business owners and the impact it has on families when they're working 80 hours a week trying to do everything, and they're super stressed and money's a challenge and all of these combined things. And if I can alleviate that from other businesses by some information that we share, then, you know, it just lights me up. So that's something that Jamie and I connected on really well. So we're very similar why in that respect, something that drives us. Yeah. And thank you for sharing that, Jamie.
Always. It's, why is the answer? Why is the ticket? Why is going to give you everything that you need in your life. When you land on that compelling reason why, and I mean compelling, I mean that why that's going to give you all the fuel, unlimited fuel. You know how we play those video games and stuff? Have you ever playing the car video game, and, you know, they give you a bonus once in a while. It's like unlimited fuel for half an hour or an hour, so you can just play no matter what. That's what your why is going to do. It's going to give you that unlimited fuel where nothing is going to stop you. I believe, I can't remember who wrote it on my post, but it was that unfuckable withness, right? That's what your why is going to do. It's going to give you that level of unfuckable withness. How good is that? Right? How good is that? That's why we want to tap into that. See, now we've got a really powerful combination. We've recognized those money beliefs that don't serve us, that don't bring us towards our ultimate outcomes and ultimate goals. We've recognized what we can do with them. Right? Burn them up, get rid of them, tear them up, throw them in the garbage. They no longer serve. Install some new money beliefs, right? Wealth is all around us. There's more wealth right now than there's ever been in the entire history of the world. Whew, that's an empowering belief. That's a really radically empowering belief that's totally going to change the game right there. Then what do we have to do? Know why success is your only motherfucking option. Thank you, Eminem.
I love it. And look, Jamie, you've just given them the three most important things to do with money, and absolute gems. We've covered a whole heap of stuff here, you know, your beliefs around it, why you need to do it, and then overcoming those and locking that in, you know, that. And like I said, there's more money in the world now than there's ever been. So it's not a supply issue for sure. So, you know, let's get out there. Let's change our mindset around it, and money will flow effortlessly and easily into your life.
Yeah, absolutely, completely love that. Now, we're going to wrap it up here real quick. But before we do, my God, we had some amazing viewership here today. We had just a ton of viewership here. So I want to throw something out. Any of you out there that have watched the show, that have enjoyed the show, that have liked it, that got something out of it, and if you have something that you would like to share, or you'd like to come on the show, last week, of course, we had Martin. Martin's just a fucking amazing rock star when it comes to sales and all that. I was just so blessed that he accepted our offer. I'm working on some things. There's a gentleman up here in Canada. He has barter pay, It's a revolutionary new way of actually paying, actually working through community, through other businesses, using the barter system. So I'm working with John, or at least I'm hoping I'm working with John. I've sent him out a message to see if he'll come on the show. And yeah, if you've got something that you'd like to share, or you'd like to get on the show to share, to provide some value to your fellow business people, we would absolutely love to have you here. Best bet, send either Mick or myself a quick DM or something like that. Hey, I'd love to be on the show. Tell us a little bit about what you are, who you are, what product or service you have, how it makes a big difference for that greater good. And we would absolutely love to see you come on the show.
Absolutely. This is all about sharing information to help other businesses and adding value. So if you've got something to add value to other business owners, business operators, business people out in the world, we'd love to have you on the show. We'd love to share your message, share your information, your products, your knowledge. So reach out, and we'd love to see you on the show.
Absolutely. With that said, thank you all so much for watching. Cannot wait to catch up with you next week. And for those of you, I know there's some of you that are in my boot camp here. If you haven't done your videos yet, get up there, do those videos. I can't wait to catch you all on Monday/Tuesday when we kick it off. Until then, have an absolutely inspired freaking week.
Absolutely, guys. Have an outstanding weekend. Have an outstanding week, and we will talk to you next Saturday.